Good morning, 1 million Cubs. How's everybody doing? Great, I've got a grade up front, so that's good. If everybody wouldn't mind grabbing some coffee and then grabbing a seat, we can get this show on the road. Thank you for attending 1 million Cups this week. First off, if you have not downloaded the app, please take out your phone, download the app. You'll get all the cool announcements. You'll know everything about our presenters today, etc., etc. So this week, we would like to welcome 1 Week KC. Raise your hands if you're with 1 Week KC. Not here? Okay. And welcome the Northeast Kansas Entrepreneurship Academy. If you're here, raise your hands. Down front. Thank you. I like it. Thank you for being here. Okay, our staff, if you will. This is Courtney, Caitlin, Kyle. Who's in the back? Billy is somewhere. We don't know where Billy is. But thank you for being here. And with that, I would like to introduce our panelists. Zach, you know the drill.
Brian's letting me go first. This is exciting. Hey everybody, Zach Anderson Pettit. I am generally in the entrepreneurial sphere. I'm a project manager at Black Ops Development. We do custom software development. I haven't had all my coffee yet, so I'm gonna drink the rest of that before I talk again.
That's a good idea. Hey everybody, I'm Brian Azorski. I was a former organizer here, so this is fun to be back. And I've got my hands in about four projects. I like to say I have 4 part-time jobs. I'm most fun one, I think, is the Tiki Bar T-shirt club, which I'm wearing a long-gone tiki bar from Mar Vista, California. So if you have any questions about that, hit me up. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Also, who likes free Royals tickets? Anybody like those? We've got a few. If you would like to win a pair, please tag us on Twitter. Hashtag 1MCKC is hashtag Forever Royal. Courtney.
And they're for this Friday's game for 1 Week KC this week. So just preface that as well. Sorry,
I forgot to say that. Anyways, so without further ado, we are going to introduce our first presenters. It is Command App.
Thank you. We're here. It's on the screen.
All right, good morning. It is an honor to be here to present Command App, the ultimate digital briefcase.
I'm Brett Davis. I'm the CEO and founder of Command App.
I'm Aaron Schweitzer, the CCO and co-founder of Command App.
And I'm Michael Corbin, the CMO of Command App. What we're going to show you today is unlike anything you've seen before. There we go. So we are excited to start, and we're going to begin with the question of why. Why are we here today?
We're here, obviously, to talk about our product, but just as important, we're here to talk about its future, a future that's more than a bright idea, a future that truly is a disruptive technology. Now, in order to be disruptive, you have to have insight, and we have industry insight. We've been building digital asset content for over 15 years.
And over the years, we've created thousands of rich media content, from interactive DVDs to training videos to product demos with high-end 3D animation.
And even though we were successful with these, often they would never see the light of day. They'd be trapped in files and folders, buried in a website, or even lost in a digital asset management system. So we knew we had to find a solution.
So at the core of our opportunity, we identified 3 major disruptive market forces. The first is that consumers today expect to be engaged with content specific to their needs. They want to see the product working in their environment, doing that thing that they do, under the conditions that they face every day.
And current methods and technologies are falling short. Presenters are getting stuck in linear presentations, and let's be honest, PowerPoint is killing souls. Missed opportunities when it comes to data collection and face-to-face meetings, and at the end of the day, that ends in lack of follow-through when customers expect to be delivered.
Then you have the fact that custom business apps are expensive. To build a good business app, it costs a big chunk of change, and then you have scope creep, add-ons, updates. It keeps pushing the price tag up, and small businesses just cannot afford to build a custom app.
So the end result for businesses has been an epic fail. You have wasted time, energy, and resources creating apps. You've got lack of control over your marketing materials and communications, and the C-suite continues to operate in the dark.
And this is where we win. We bridge the gap between the back office and those on the front line by replacing the cost, time, money, and energy spent with these guys. We also bridge the gap to the customer by replacing outdated methodology as well as disjointed technology. We needed to build a real game changer here.
So what we set out to do was create an MVP of our tech. But most importantly, what we needed to do was prove, would businesses buy it? And guess what? They have.
So we're not talking just run-of-the-mill businesses. Our clients include Caterpillar, the Kansas Speedway, Wireco World Group here in town, just to name a few. And not only have they bought it and validated the idea, they value it as a platform that they can expand upon.
So when using a command app, form meets function with a user experience that's unmatched. So if you're going to build a kiosk and get to products, you can build an app for that.
Or a situational sales tool where you can turn a presentation into a conversation and get specific information quickly.
So associates have all the materials they need to address any question or concern at their fingertips with rich media content.
Command App allows you to deep dive and get to that right piece of content at the right time instantly.
And we're more than just presentations. With custom tool sets, you can gather data and intelligence from the field and deliver it right from the app. And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
So with that, introducing Command App 2.0, we are currently building a cloud-based platform where any business can build, deploy, and manage high-impact customer engagement apps with tool sets.
And just like Vistaprint revolutionized the self-serve model of building business cards and brochures, Command App was revolutionizing the business model of building strategic apps. You don't have to be a programmer, a UX guru, or a strategic designer to build high-end, effective, dynamic apps.
So building an app is simple. Just choose a business app that fits your need, answer a few questions about your product and services, customize with your brand, and upload content as you build. The Command App algorithm does the rest by serving up proven templates and tool sets to address the complexity of your app.
And when you deploy a Command App, you put the power of customer engagement into the hands of those that need it the most, the associates in the field on the front lines.
And most importantly, Command App gives you control over your devices, your users, your content, and it gives you the powerful analytics and reports that you want on the back end. Finally, businesses can now manage all their strategic apps in just one place.
So to be truly disruptive, we know that we had to take what we've learned at the enterprise level and build a basic, easy starting point where companies can grow their business app.
So finally, we're going to leave you with one final thought. Command App is more than just a bright idea. We're poised, set, and ready to disrupt the status quo.
So soon you'll go into your favorite coffee shop and you'll see business being done over a Command App.
You go to a trade show and all the booth kiosks will be powered by a Command App.
You'll drive by a construction site and you'll see a crane operator doing a daily maintenance checklist using a Command App.
You'll even go to a TED Talks where an innovative medical breakthrough will be presented using a Command App.
So we'll leave you with one final question. Are you ready to be a part of the Command App revolution? Thank you.
So we'll start Q&A with our expert panel here, and then we'll open it up to the audience. So if anybody has a question, please raise your hand and we'll come around with a mic.
Hey guys, great PowerPoint. Okay, just kidding. All right. No, that was a slick presentation. So you mentioned, you answered a lot of my questions as I was writing them down, so congratulations there. How long is the first product been out in the market today?
About 18 months.
18 months, okay. And where are you at? I'm real excited to see the 2.0 version. Is that still in development or is that on the horizon?
Development will be launched this year.
This year? Okay. I think that's pretty exciting. So that your customers can use it for desktop or kiosk or mobile. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's very flexible. Tell us more about the pricing, your pricing model, and how you charge.
Well, let's talk afterwards on specific numbers. But the way our pricing works is there's a platform fee, a build fee, and professional services. So the cost to get all your content onto the platform right now at the enterprise level. And again, when we get to the basic level, there'll be self-serve options for that. Professional services, we create media if needed. You know, the 3D stuff you see, we have to get our hands on that. And then custom programming, and that's where the tool sets come in when we're doing custom integrations or building a custom tool like a cost calculator. That's where those come into play.
Great, thanks.
All right, yeah, great presentation, guys. Yeah, the irony of the PowerPoint thing's palpable. So with this, it sounds like you have a platform that can solve a lot of problems in a lot of different directions. So me, not being that smart, had a kind of a hard time following you through all those problems that you could potentially solve. Thanks, Brian. What is your ideal use case? And like Kansas Speedway, for example, how did that work? Did they actually do the build itself? Were you doing the build? I don't think I understand how, from start to finish, that works and how you're making money along that line.
Well, currently, we're doing the build because 2.0 is not out yet. But what that is, it's situational selling. And so we meet with them, we develop a digital blueprint, which again, the self-serve will do that in the background. And then we start building their app. We do send out an alpha, do a beta, and then do version 1.0, and then we always update it. And then we turn the keys over to them to where they could populate and add their content, and always updating it.
And how they use it specifically, everybody's seen a NASCAR race before, thousands of sponsorships across the whole racetrack, all the way out into the parking lots. They have to get sponsors excited about it when it's 20 degrees in Kansas City and the race isn't for 5 more months. So for them to be able to show an aerial perspective of, hey, your sponsorship's gonna be here, here, and here, that's where your money's gonna be used, PowerPoint can effectively do that.
Okay, I gotcha. So to a certain degree, it's kind of the content. Like, what's your differentiator at the end of the day? Is it the platform that's easier to build on top of, and then the content?
It's one, the platform is easy to build on, but the fact that we've got these proven templates that we've used with complicated companies that have multiple markets, multiple products, of how to handle the complexity of that in a way that is easy to navigate through. And so it's this combination of putting these things together that really has, the user experience seem really simple as you're doing that, but you're going through over 800 pieces of content and trying to, based on the situation and the context of the user, interact with that sort of thing.
Gotcha. Okay, so it sounds like you guys have some IP on the back end. I was just struggling to differentiate you between kind of like a native mobile app developer kind of that has a suite in the back end. So anyways, that was my question.
Yeah, if you have questions in the audience, please raise your hand. We'll come around to you. One right here.
Hey guys, looks awesome. Who's your competition?
All right. Competition.
I mean, there's limited competition out there, specifically what we do. However, there's different ones that are on the presentation of things. So obviously PowerPoint, Prezi, that sort of side of it. Then you have CRM on the back end that obviously are managing the CRM content.
Look how quickly we just answered your question.
For example, getting to the right piece of content at the right time.
But the CRM companies, they're trying to engage with customers better, and they've got some different tool sets. They're not as dynamic. They can't handle the complexity that ours can, and then obviously all the automated marketing stuff. But we really are in the specific niche of the face-to-face meetings, being able to present and handle complexity.
Yeah, the competition is files and folders. That's what all the apps out there, and you got to know what you're looking for and drill down to find it. Or a PowerPoint is that linear. Someone asks you a question, hang on, I'll get to that in a couple slides, or you need to be able to go left or right. And that's what we're all about, is that nonlinear dynamic presentation so that you can really have a conversation. And that's what makes us unique.
Whose brainchild was this? Who came up with the original idea for Command App?
I did. And then Aaron. I mean, it just evolved over time. We have another company that we've had for 15 years of building this interactive content. And then we've looked for how can we get this out there. The tablets came out. Finally, we had a place to put this back into play. And so we started.
Aaron it started with DVDs.
Yeah, we were doing DVDs before people knew what DVD was and doing situational selling with that. So it just kind of happened over years.
Okay, question in the back.
Good morning. Nice presentation. Thank you. What are your plans to incorporate and integrate a virtual reality component to this, if you have one?
There's no immediate plans. We do see where it can fit in the future, but right now, a lot of what can be done and talked about, we're focused on that.
Yeah, augmented reality is the other one that we get asked about a lot, and there's definitely application for it. So just a matter of time before we build that tool set.
Question down front.
Is there a vertical that you're focusing on taking this solution to? Like one that you see that it's an easy problem to solve in a repeatable fashion for an entire industry or business model?
Well, initially we started, because Caterpillar was one of our first clients, we focused on the construction industry, large equipment, where you just can't bring that big tractor into a board meeting and talk about it. And so the tool is really good for physical products, and that's where we started. So really small manufacturers of products, physical products with a lot of materials around it. It's a good fit for us. But we just continue to be surprised at the different industries that we're approached by, because they want to just simply take a PowerPoint presentation and make it dynamic. Or they just, there's a lot of industries out there that have a lot of content and they need a tool to help them communicate better. So we'll stay focused for now on manufacturers.
Hold on, we have a question in the back.
Can you tell us more about your relationship with your clients and actually how you go about building these things for them?
Where are we at?
Yeah, so right now it's primarily me, and but it's the three of us building relationships one at a time and reaching out and introducing the platform to them. And what's surprising is when they see it, and how often we hear this is they say, that's just what we've been thinking about, but we had no idea that it was possible or how to do it. And so, it's just a traditional one-on-one relationship and build it over time. And our clients will typically start with like a trade show app, and then all the sales reps will see it at the show and they'll say, can we have that? Oh my gosh, I'm tired of lugging this big bag of stuff around. And so then we'll convert it to a sales application, and then then somebody will want to integrate another tool to it, a quote builder or whatever it is. And so it's happening every time, is that we start small and get some traction, and then off we go.
So can you tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey, just because there's a student group in the audience, and they always love hearing those stories, especially since you said you have another company that you've had for 15 years, and why this now?
Sure. I started off, when I started the other company 15 years ago, I found out about this thing, DVD, that was coming that nobody knew about. It was a different way to think about media and selling and situational aspects of it. So I actually came to the Kauffman Foundation and took their fast track program at the time, kind of did a feasibility study, kind of like now, to see would people pay for it. So we started, Barnstorming Inc. was that company, started that company, and over the years started building up clientele. Again, having a new technology, even at that time, was trying to explain to businesses of how it would be applicable to their needs was a bit of a sales cycle, but we got traction and grew the company from there. As technology changed, the DVD hold that we had changed a little bit, so we kind of stepped back and waited, and then when the tablets came out, not only could it do everything we were doing before, more dynamically, but you could add those tool sets that we knew our customers needed. So it just kind of evolved over time, listening to your customers, listening to their needs, and helping them solve problems.
I would add is that we all have many, many years of real world experience, real job experience, and that's what has enabled us to develop this. Starting out young without any business experience, life in the real world, I guess, because it's very tough to be an entrepreneur, and it's a lot of work, and you have to keep after it every day. You have to work much longer than you ever imagined, and just stick with it. So a good idea is not enough, really. It takes that hard work behind it.
We have a question on Facebook. It asks, are these ready-made templates?
They will be.
Care to elaborate?
Not at this time, no. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Again, it's a lot of the stuff that you're seeing, there's certain aspects of how to handle and how these templates go together. Just like, you mentioned Vistaprint, just like you go on and start WordPress building a site. It's that sort of a thing, but a little bit more dynamic.
So transitioning back to the panel up here, the slide that you had a couple back where you were right in the middle of, I think, about 20 multi-billion-dollar companies, that one, are you guys planning to raise any money? Are you planning to, how are you planning to compete in one of the toughest and most competitive industries that exists?
Yeah, right now we're raising money. So we're doing that to start going after the market pretty hard.
And is that going to require a lot more engineering talent? Kind of what's the next steps to kind of get you up and competing with, the little guys, Salesforce, HubSpot?
Well, most importantly, and sometimes this gets a little misconstrued, we're not trying to replace a Salesforce or an SAP. Our APIs will integrate with those because, I mean, major corporations, they spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars trying to adopt this and getting their sales teams to adopt that. What we're doing is trying to build a better way for companies to communicate and to not have to use multiple different apps, wait on SAP or a Salesforce or a HubSpot to build something out. Our tool sets will integrate with our app, which will in turn integrate with each one of those. And so we're kind of just really focusing on, hey, we can really work with these bottom two circles, and then obviously the top right there, they are direct limited competition.
You sure, Kyle? Are you sure? Okay.
His mic wasn't on. You can go first.
So are you guys planning to stay in Kansas City to grow?
We are. We're from
Absolutely.
Kansas City. Plan to stay in Kansas City. Our families are here.
Keep it in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to build off that question actually. So this is a pretty exciting week for entrepreneurship here in KC. So we have 1 week KC going on. A lot of new folks are coming into the community to see what's going on in the startup scene. Kauffman Foundation is holding a big eShip summit. So there are people from all over the world here to talk about building entrepreneurial ecosystems. Can you elaborate more on doing business in Kansas City? The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever you got for us.
I mean, it's love Kansas City again, and events like this and platforms like this. It's huge. And again, going through the Kauffman Foundation, the entrepreneur mind is a little bit different, and the fact that that's cultivated here on such a broad level is huge. It allows you to think beyond just your day-to-day job, to think beyond solving immediate solutions, to look about solving larger solutions. So. It's an amazing city for being an entrepreneur.
Question up front.
Good morning. I really enjoyed the presentation as an entrepreneur that's venturing out. One of the things that I grabbed hold of was you all said that you don't have to be tech savvy to build sophisticated apps, and that it's beneficial for nonlinear conversations for organizations. Those things really gravitated, and I didn't hear a lot of that, but my recommendation is that the feedback is that to hear more of that, because I'm like the gentleman over there, maybe I just haven't had enough coffee. I like simple. But there was something about that really resonated for me, and I want to hear more, because when I'm working with small or mid-sized organizations, I want to be able to say, I know this phenomenal organization named Command App that has the ability to support your efforts beyond Salesforce, and why, and really keep it simple. I don't know if I could tell them. Outside of, I know you don't have to be tech savvy, which I'm not tech savvy. So I just wanted to hear more about the simplicity of it.
Yeah, we only had 6 minutes this morning to tell a really complex story. But those are some of our key talking points. Just we make the complex clear. We develop nonlinear presentations. We turn presentations into conversations. And we have, we've tried to come up with that buzz line to just summarize it, and it's hard because it means different things to different people, and different stakeholders have different perspectives on it. Like we talked about the C-suite, they're operating in the dark, and they may not even know they're operating in the dark. You know, the platform has analytics on the back, and you can see what individual sales reps are doing out in the field, which you've never been able to do before. And you can look at the path that they're presenting content and learn from the top performers. You know, there's intelligence that has never been available before. Yeah, so, you know, we'd love to talk to all of you if you're interested. And again, like I said, every time we talk to someone new, it's amazing where they tell us where they see the application. And that's where we know the templates are proven. You know, these templates just didn't happen overnight. The whole concept has, you know, been built on, Brett and Aaron have been working with companies, large companies for years, and we, you know, see the same challenges, large and small. So, yeah.
Question in the middle.
Hey, so this is a really cool product. I'm drooling thinking about using this in my sales meetings. But the Command App 2.0, the self-serve model, how do you plan to grow that? It sounds like right now the enterprise model is a direct sales approach. What about the SaaS product?
Yeah, so you know, we will use, you know, somewhat established marketing tactics and techniques for SaaS models. You know, we will use an inbound marketing to educate people and get them to come to our website. We will certainly have a visual campaign. You know, I think that's the key here is when people see it and see the 3D, that's what really, you know, gets them excited and you know, get them to come to our site and raise their hand. You know, so certainly a content marketing strategy. I mean, there's going to be an educational. Really, it's just awareness, though. So social media, content marketing, promoting it, you know, through all the channels that we possibly can.
Question back right.
That was a good-looking question.
That is a good-looking question. Absolutely.
Just one quick perspective. Is what we're seeing up there all Command App, or is that a mix of slides and Command App?
It's all Command App.
It's all Command App.
Question in front.
So that was great content. So it looks like you guys are focused primarily on the selling vertical. So whenever it comes to that, you guys have really good content for those engaging presentations. But as us in the industry know, telling isn't selling. How does your app help engage past that point, past the conversation, and actually get into the actual nuts and bolts of making the sale, the call to action, and actually getting the dollars?
Great question. Yeah, you can quickly go from presenting, and I don't care if it's just a picture. If somebody's interested for you to start talking about them, then that's when you open an assessment app. Or we've got quick little tools you can get to and start that collecting data in those tools.
So you have additional apps as far as for the ability to take the order and et cetera?
Exactly.
We have many, many ideas, many tools that we built. Safety checklists, the quote builders, where you can actually just take an order straight from the app. You know, for trade shows, you know, at a trade show, you ask people to put their card in a fishbowl, okay? And you really don't know anything about them, what they're interested in. Even if you scan their badge, you really don't know much. With Command App, they could go through the app, drill down to what they're specifically interested in, request information, I want that brochure, and that lead now is, you know, it's a quality lead. We know what they're specifically looking for. So, you know, it's not going to close the sale, but it's going to shorten the sales cycle. I mean, I guess it could close the sale if you want to build that model.
Yeah, we have a customer right now that actually, where you're collecting that data, it takes that, matches that app with terms and conditions where you can sign it and email the contract right there from the app. So we're working on that right now.
Now the app also, we haven't really mentioned much, is it works offline. So you do not have to have internet connection. Once you have downloaded your app onto your iPad or device, it works offline. And then the information that's collected is stored online, and when it gets back online, it syncs up with the cloud. And that's where you will be able to go to this website and manage it. Right now, it's just sending the email or the content that's collected. But that's a huge, huge factor because, you know, you go to a trade show floor, you can't get an internet connection, or you're out in rural America presenting.
Vince, thank you so much for your presentation today. Our closing question, what can we as a community do to help you?
You Want that? All right, we are definitely looking for innovative partners to help us develop this platform. You know, we want, at that basic level, you just want to start with a better presentation tool. Let's talk.
Yeah, so when 2.0 comes online, we want people to be beta testing it, to run it through the ringer. So the more companies we have signed up, even from a basic presentation level, the better off we're going to be. So we want to use Kansas City to really vet this thing out and get it moving.
And, you know, certainly if you know of anyone that would be a good fit for us, we'd love to talk to them and you know, hope that we can connect with you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we have a few announcements from the community. If you haven't yet, be sure to go to oneweekkc.com. Did I do good? And check out the events that are going on this week. First up, I'll invite Jesse to tell us a little bit more about Sprint Accelerator Demo Day.
Okay, good morning, everyone. The 2017 Sprint Accelerator Demo Day is next Tuesday, June 27th, at the National World War I Museum and Memorial Theater. The format's a little different this year. You'll need to pre-register since the seats are limited. The link for the Eventbrite can be found in the program as well as on our Twitter feed. So come hear about what our 7 companies are doing and what they've been up to for the last 90 days. They've been focused on digital media, and we have a group of ag tech focused companies as well. So come meet our founders.
Excellent. And next up, Nathan Kurtz from the Kauffman Foundation to tell us more about Friday's baseball game.
Hey, you guys. Raise your hand if you have been to E-Day at the K in the past. All right. For those who haven't, highly encourage it. Not only are we having a tailgate out right next to the left field stands right before the game from 4 to 6, this Friday is also Big Slick. So Jason Sudeikis, Eric Stone Street, other Kansas City area celebrities are coming back into town for a celebrity softball game at 5 o'clock. So come for the tailgate, have some food, go watch the game, come back out, hang out with Kansas Cityans and others coming to town this week for our eShip Summit, and then watch the Royals beat the Toronto Blue Jays. So there's a raffle for tickets. We've got a few to give away. Remind me the hashtag.
Yeah, so if you want a chance to win those tickets, can you tweet at us? Hashtag 1MCKC is hashtag Forever Royal. Hit us up on Twitter for a chance to win those tickets.
It's catchy, it's easy, but please do, we got something to give away. So sign up, and then hope to see you guys Friday. Thank you.
All right, while you got those thumbs going, be sure to also download the 1 Million Cups app, provide feedback to our presenters today. We want to thank you guys for joining us today, so let's do Mug Club. Can you please raise your hand if you've been to 1 Million Cups KC 10 or more times? Nice. Can you put your hand down if you already have a mug? And now John is going to find someone and learn more about them.
Congratulations. Please tell us your name and why you come to 1 Million Cubs.
I'm Greg Butel. I'm the director of marketing for a franchise group for a major restaurant organization, major restaurant brand, and I also am in the early stages of developing a program to teach people with disabilities how to dive in Kansas City. I come here, I really like hearing the questions, kind of hearing the thought process and the challenges and what people come up, the challenges people come up with and how they're going to attack them. So,
thank you.
That's right. Thank you. All right. Our goal here, we know you join us every Wednesday. We want to help you find the connections you need to grow your startup or business. So our audience connection question today, can you please raise your hand if you're an entrepreneur or even thinking about entrepreneur and you'd like to talk to a lawyer? Do we have anyone out there who wants some legal help? They got some IP or they're trying to form a startup? There we go. We got one in the center. Okay, can you please raise your hand if you are a lawyer and want to volunteer your time today to talk to some entrepreneurs? Thank you for giving that. So we'll be right over here after 1 Million Cups KC today, and we will go ahead and start making those connections. All right, next up, let's have a warm welcome for Cameron with Rock Dolly Equipment.
Morning, Kansas City. How are we doing today? Good. Good. I'm excited to be here. I was actually at the 1MC in St. Louis last Wednesday, and they were very friendly. I'm from Springfield, Missouri, and so I've also presented at our 1 Million Cups, and it's cool to be at the Kauffman Foundation, the birthplace of 1MC, and to see all you guys. I didn't realize Command App was going to get up here and trash Prezi so bad, so I'm a little embarrassed about my presentation this morning, but very cool presentation, guys. We all enjoyed that. Next year, whenever 2.0's out, I'll make my presentation on Command App, and we'll do it again. So I'm here to talk to you guys today about Rock Dolly Equipment, which is my company. It's a startup based around one of my inventions. And so we've got some really, really cool music gear. You can see one of them right here. And after the presentation today, and we do questions, I'll fire it up, and you guys can hear it. I think it's going to blow you away. So Rock Dolly Equipment is the name of the company. And a few facts about Rock Dolly Equipment. So we've got an innovation pipeline going on that I can't really talk about everything that we're doing just yet. But the stuff that we're doing is going to revolutionize the music industry and change the way that people play music forever. The public-facing portion of it is the Rock Dolly right now, which is an incredible rig, and I'll talk about it more in a moment. We're approaching a US market that has $3.5 billion in sales every year, and that market has shown growth consecutively over the last 2 years. Globally, that market sells about $14 billion each year, and we are coming out with a much better mousetrap to approach that market with, and so I think that we're just absolutely going to kill it. We've currently got 3 patents. We've got 2 design patents and 1 utility patent pending, and we're actually working on hiring some IP personnel in-house to work on patenting and protecting the IP around the rest of our music gear that we're working on. Currently, we're 100% owner financed, which is an interesting situation to be in. It leaves us with a lot of bargaining chips whenever we come to the table, and I'm proud that I've been able to do this solo so far. But we're getting to the point where I need to bring on business partners, and I'll talk about that at the end of the presentation as well. I believe that the company is a potential hardware unicorn. And what I mean by that is that we're a company that has the potential to be worth over $1 billion within 5 years of being founded. I just formally organized the company in November of 2016. And I believe that my company is going to have an incredible valuation based on both sales and the patents and the IP that we're protecting and going to be bringing to the market. So let me tell you a little bit about the Rock Dolly. So the Rock Dolly is an all-in-one unit that is designed to replace most of the music gear musicians currently have to bring to their gigs. So it's designed to fit into the trunk of a car. This is the bass cabinet that you're looking at here. The top section sits on top of it. It's made of 3 cabinets that stack and lock together and allow musicians to roll into their gig with everything they need to play a set. So this one unit rolls in easily. It's got huge sound and a very small footprint. And it's also completely wireless. So not only do you have wireless mics, you've also got wireless instrument inputs. And rather than a big mixing board to mix your sound like most musicians do these days, you've got an app on your phone that controls everything, all the way to your digital effects. And it replaces your PA system, your guitar amps, bass amps, and digital effects rack. And so this is a few shots of the Rock Dolly in action. And the reason I designed this, I've been in electronics and finance, and music has always been a passion of mine. I think we all played in a band at some point, and hauling around all that gear inspired me to make something that leverages modern technology, just sort of like going from landlines to cell phones. We need to do that with our music gear as well, and currently none of the people on the market, or none of the manufacturers that serve that market have done that, and so that's what I'm doing with Rock Dolly. So a little timeline about how Rock Dolly got started. I first had the idea for Rock Dolly in 2013. I was thinking, and I said, Cam, you're a musician, but you hate setting up all that sound gear. So what's up with all these cords anyway? Didn't we invent these things in like 1878 for the original telephone exchange? This is for landlines, and we've evolved to cell phones now, so what's up with all these cords? There's got to be a better way. I thought, it's 2013. Musicians need gear that is loud, portable, reliable, and wireless. But what would we call it? We needed to be able to move all of our gear in at once, like on a dolly of rock. But what would we call it? So I Googled Rock Dolly, and this is what I found. And I decided I'm going to take that. So the idea for Rock Dolly was born, and I began trademarking it. An interesting story about that is that if you buy if you start filing your trademark before your domain, I learned the hard way. Whenever you file a trademark, there are not just patent trolls, there are domain trolls that will buy your domain and then try and charge you money for it. So someone bought rockdolly.com, which is why you can find my company at rockdollyequipment.com, and that person put it up for sale for $900. And I checked on it a few weeks ago, and now they want $3,400 for it. So already in the mind of the domain troll, the value of my company's gone up. I take that as a good sign. In 2014, I didn't do much with the idea. I was really busy with personal stuff. I made a sketch and spilled some coffee on it. In 2015, I took that sketch and turned that into the first rock dolly prototype, which really looked like a coffin on a dolly, but it sounded pretty good, and I was proud of it. Last year, I got really serious with it. I started making more sketches and producing more prototypes. I learned how to use Google SketchUp to make computer models of my prototypes, and I came out with this guy right here. That's actually me at 1 Million Cups in Springfield a year ago, and that's my second prototype. But I realized I needed to make it smaller, so I kept making computer models, finding out what worked and what didn't, and I came out with this guy. Not long after that, I started using Fusion 360, which is a product by Autodesk. It's incredible. It allows me to design something in a computer and then basically automatically have a CNC machine cut out all of my parts and make the units that you're seeing here. And these are my current prototypes. I've got another one in development, but it's not something that I can make out of wood. I'm actually planning on making the next models out of formed ABS plastic. This is a question I had for Springfield, and we didn't have a large 3D printer. So if anyone in Kansas City knows of a large, I'd say 2 foot by 2 foot and then 3 or 4 feet high 3D printer. I need a large bed 3D printer to print my next prototype out. Oh, did I go through all that? No, I did. Okay, sorry. 2017 was a year of logos. So what I mean by that is that this year I've applied for lots of outside help to help grow my business and turn it into the nationwide and what I hope will become a global music gear company, sharing our incredible music gear all over the world. I applied to Y Combinator. I also ran a Kickstarter for the company. I applied for Hacks. I'm pretty excited about this. If we get a thumbs up from Hacks, I'm going to be moving to Shenzhen, China for 4 months to fast track the development of the Rock Dolly hardware and software. I also reached out to Missouri S&T. They're taking on some research projects related to Rock Dolly and some of our other music gear at the beginning of this next school year. So we're going to be working with some of the top engineers in the state of Missouri in order to bring our product to the next level. I also talked to Score, who's been great, and they suggested that I do what I'm doing. Go on a Rock Dolly evangelism tour, go meet some of the VC firms that don't exist in Springfield, in Kansas City and St. Louis. And then a friend of mine on Facebook suggested that I branch out in Missouri as well, that I needed to go to St. Louis and Kansas City, check out Arch Grants, the Missouri Technology Corporation, the Kauffman Foundation, I-10, Venture Cafe. I saw last night on the internet you guys have a Venture Lounge. I'm going to have to check that out as well. And of course, 1 Million Cups. Where we're at. So right now, I'm in the process of building my team. In order to have a tech company that is going to absolutely kill it whenever we go to the market, I need the best engineers on my team. And so I see some inroads for Rock Dolly, not just in the music sphere, but also in education and even in robotics. I'd like to talk more about that with you guys as well. So if you know any of these type of individuals that would be interested in working on this, I'd love to hear about it. And I'm in like I said, the main thing I'm focused on right now is building my team. I need IP attorneys and I need engineers in order to take my product to the next level and bring it to market. And that's where I'm at with Rock Dolly right now. And thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
Seriously?
I always do a drop mic at the wrong time, and I guess I broke it this time. Thank you for that presentation. So currently, are you guys technically in business or in development?
I have prototype models like this one for sale on the website, but I'd say we're in development more than in business, for sure.
Can you paint a picture of your, I saw your video and I saw your Kickstarter and things like that, so I don't want to assume anything, but could you explain who your ideal customer is for this product?
Sure. For the models that we've got on the market right now, I think a small band or groups that do outdoor outings that they would normally hire a DJ for, or even DJs, would be my primary customer. So individuals that normally have to carry music gear around and set up would definitely benefit from a rock dolly.
And with that in mind, what do you see the barrier of entry for those people to go ahead and become a customer?
That's a great question. I think the price point is really the primary obstacle right now. Right now I need to charge $2,400 for a rock dolly in order for myself and any retail partners to have a margin. So my goal in fundraising for rock dolly, building my team, is to be able to manufacture like my competitors do. And I'm not a fan of this, guys, I'll say, but in the research that I've done, it seems like the only way to do this and compete with the other manufacturers is to build in Asia. And so to get Asian manufacturing on board and bring the price point down to about $900. At that price point, my tech blows theirs out of the water, and my price point is competitive with theirs, if not beating theirs. And so that's where I think our sweet spot is, and I believe I can get the product down to that price point.
As you have been sharing your product with bands and performers, what kind of questions are they asking you that have helped steer your development?
Sure. So a lot of them are curious if it's like backwards compatible, because I'm focused on bringing wireless connectivity to the situation. They want to know if it's backwards compatible. It is. Some of them don't like the fact that it's controlled via an app. They want one that has knobs and switches on the actual unit itself. So that's something I'm considering whenever we're going to build our electronics. And other than that, I'm getting a lot of really positive feedback. I mean, the sound quality on them is absolutely stupendous. So if you guys stick around afterwards, I'd love for you to hear it and give me your feedback on it. But people are crazy about the sound quality and very impressed by that.
I took a close look at it, and obviously it's not built necessarily for somebody really hitting the road maybe, or going in a plane, as like real cases. A lot of music cases are built that way. Is that something you're looking to, a problem you might want to solve down the road, or is that an issue for you?
Well, okay, so they're pretty durable, as the boxes are made out of 3/4 inch birch. The coating is vinyl right now, and the vinyl does tend to get scratched up if it gets bumped around. So there's been a couple of ideas floated, which one of them being coating the units in the same thing that you would spray on a truck bed liner, so that thick plasticized type of coating. But I'm really more focused on, instead of improving this particular prototype, I'm more focused on bringing it to a molded ABS version, because that's what most of the competitors do. That makes my product lighter, and it's also incredibly roadworthy. And so I'm leaning more in that direction than changing the prototype.
So as far as the unicorn claim goes, what's your go-to-market strategy? Are you going to have intermediaries, or is it going to be direct from online so you actually can maintain the margin? How are you handling the actual go-to-market strategy, distribution?
That's a great question. So the next thing on my plate is getting our electronics manufactured, right? So what I was talking about the undisclosed IP, that's really what I'm focused on developing right now. And I think we've got about a 1-year time frame from start to finish to get that completed. Once that's done, we need to get manufacturing set up, and I want to go to retail stores first. That's the only way for people to really, for musicians to purchase my product, they have to play through it and they have to hear it in person. It's not good enough for me to get on the internet, no matter how good my video is, and say, this sounds great, you're going to love it. They actually have to hear it in person and play through it. And so I need my product in retail stores. So the go-to-market strategy is, step 1, get my electronics engineered. Step 2, put those electronics in a box and get them shipped. And then step 3, get them in retail stores. And I plan to go probably personally or hire a sales rep to go to retail stores and get them set up. It shouldn't be hard, because the stuff is really impressive. And I think that it's the next generation of development for music gear, and I'm not going to have a problem getting music stores signed on. And we've built plenty of room in there for everyone to have a margin. So retail is where I want to go with it.
We're going to turn it over to the audience for questions, so get those hands up. In the meantime, Cameron, can you blow us away? Can you play it a little bit?
Right now? Yeah.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, get those hands up. We'll come around with a microphone. Let's get blown away.
Oh, I got a cord for it over here. Should have had that on stage.
Thanks for letting me put you on the spot.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. So I planned on doing this afterward. Now, earlier models, I did build in Bluetooth to the Rock Dolly. What I found was that the wireless microphones and wireless guitar instrument inputs interfered with the Bluetooth so that the range was only a couple of feet. And that also impacted the sound quality. So I've been going direct in with a cord until I can find a better solution for it.
All right. Thank you kindly, sir.
What?
We have a question here in the center for you, Cameron. Question in the center.
Hi there. So I actually used to be a road musician for about 5 years. We had a two-piece band, so this makes a ton of sense. Couple questions, actually. So first off, there's a lot of unpatented stuff that I can't talk about on stage, and I'd really like to, guys. I would. So if you want to take that question further offline, I'd love to. Sure. And I have everyone sign NDAs. My patent attorney says I have to, even though I'm not a litigious person. But the short answer is, we're going wireless in-ear monitors on all of our gear. So you mentioned a price point of $900. If you're replacing amplification, the actual speaker unit, and the mixing board, do you feel that 900 is maybe a little too low? No. So currently online through Ningbo Honi, which is an Asian manufacturer, they make units that are almost a Rock Dolly. They're not. They're not as portable. They don't have as many features, but they're electronically and with the features, they're extremely close. They sell these en masse. Like if I'm buying a bunch of them, a shipping container or two full of these, I can get them for $250 landed. And I've priced out all the components and the manufacturing cost as well. So I believe I can get the next generation of Rock Dolly units landed $450 per unit. That leaves me plenty of margin to sell them for $900 at retail, leaving my retail partner and myself a healthy margin. So I think 900 we could probably sell them for more, and they're worth more compared to the other music gear out there. But in order for my company to do what I'm intending to do, which is really like push some crazy high-tech gear out there at a price that is going to cause a lot of converts quickly, I think 900 is a great price point, and if I can meet it, that's the goal.
We have another question in the middle.
So it sounds like you're going for volume, but I mean, I listened to it. The sound quality on it's great. Why not build it? Let's say go play someplace like Nashville and find someone that, I mean, Nashville or California that someone that has a name that loves this, and build the components in America. Make a brand like, I don't know I'm not a music guy. Orange. I think Orange is the big thing that everyone's like, oh, I've got to have and do it something like that. And, I don't know, just might be a different mindset.
That's a good idea, and I agree with it. I'd prefer to go American manufacturing, and my thought is that we may be able to do both. You know what I mean? If I have a cheaper version manufactured overseas, I may be able to sell those under one brand and have an American manufactured brand as well. My experience so far has been that no one's interested in my $2,400 American-made unit. I mean, and maybe that's because of the price point. I think that's because of the price point. I can't figure out a way to get them lower than that using American manufacturing and parts.
Question back left.
Sorry, what was that?
It would cost $2,400 if we made it in America. Is that what?
It does cost $2,400 made in America. I've got them on my website for sale right now, but I haven't had very many takers, and I think that's because of that price point. But you know, if I can find a way to get it lower and manufactured in America, I would love to have an American-made version, and I would prefer to have my team here in the States, for sure.
Kudos first for taking on an industry that needs disruption, and volume is key there. One question, as you kind of look at kind of scaling through maybe minimal inventory out of the gate, I think you have a channel opportunity with Guitar Center or even the smaller guys to maybe even do a lease option where you revenue share with them for artists who may not want to commit to the buy, but are willing to pay a little extra for, hey, I got 5 gigs in 3 months, maybe I pay $1,000. I'm getting some income for the gigs, but I don't want to buy the unit and have that burden. It also gives them a stickiness factor at the retail outlet to bring those folks in and out on a constant basis. Have you thought of engaging a channel that way on a kind of as a service basis or lease?
I have considered renting. I didn't consider, you know, going into partnership like that. That's a good idea. If I could get something like that set up, I would love to do that. You know, and I forgot to speak to your question, sir, about approaching existing manufacturers. My experience, I have tried that, and my experience has been, and the advice that I've got from industry veterans has been that the large manufacturers, one, they don't want to hear my ideas, because if they're developing something that competes with it, if they sign an NDA with me, then they have to license my product, and they don't want that. So, and two, they don't care unless I'm already eating their lunch. So I think the strategy for my company to increase our value and you know, make a proper exit for myself and my team is to proceed to eat the lunch of the bigger competitors, and then they will talk to us. But until then, they kind of brush us off. We're the little guy, and we'll roll off their back if they just ignore us, they think.
Question on the left.
Hi, good morning.
Where you at? I'm sorry. Oh, there you are. I'm sorry.
That was a very clever, very well executed presentation.
Thank you.
One of the best I've ever seen. I just want to let you know that.
Wow.
That was
Thanks.
great. It took us through the history and the slides and the interaction with the graphs and the timeline, as well as the pictures and the sketches and things. It was very interesting.
Thanks.
You know, through the iterations of the product. So I'm a old school two-channel audiophile guy.
Okay.
Okay, and I grew up as a musician, playing in different instruments. I know enough about, you know, the industry to know that, you know, I'm curious, have you ever done a focus group to talk about, you know, people that are really into music tend to want to buy the best component that does this and the best component that does that. Have you done a focus group to see, okay, like you talk about the market you're serving, which I understand like 3 billion or whatever it is, but maybe what specifically in that market is your potential sweet spot of customer? Because I'm curious, you know, a certain type of musician, you know, would he buy something that's all in as opposed to buying this component or that component? You know, I'm just curious what you found out, if anything, about that.
So that's a great question. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier, Rock Dolly so far is 100% financed out of my own pocket. And so I didn't have the funds to go after focus groups and things like that. Most of my marketing and, you know, the market research I've done is person to person, showing it to people, telling them about it, letting them play through it, and then getting their feedback. So the brilliant part about my IP and what we're doing is that we are eliminating the need for consumer, or musicians or any group to buy this component, that component, and then network them together on site at every gig that they go to. The brilliant part about it is that we're putting it all in one unit, making it roll in and set up like that. So I think there's been a lot of interest in it, but as far as like a focus group, we haven't done anything like that. But the most compelling part of it, again, is the undisclosed stuff. Hopefully next year, whenever I come back, I'll be able to show you guys the working, prototype of the whole system that I've designed, and it'll be really exciting. That being said, there are some musicians that I've got the piece of feedback from. They say, oh, well, this is solid state. I really want a tube amp. you know, and so we can build a tube preamp or a tube, you know, post-amp, amplify everything through a tube amplifier. For those people, I haven't made that version yet, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility to cater to those customers as well and still have them wireless and in an all-in-one unit, but with the preferred, you know, tube amplification that they like.
So real quick, our final question is, what can we as a community do to help you?
Come build Rock Dolly with me. If you're an engineer, if you are you know, interested as an investor, if you're interested in as a marketer or as a you know, whatever you do, if you think you can help Rock Dolly and you're interested in what I'm doing, get my contact information and help me do it. I think we're going to be one of the biggest startups to come out of Missouri in recent history, and so I'd like you to be a part of it.
Great. Thank you so much for your presentation today.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming out to 1 Million Cups KC today. Next week's presenters are Fishing Caddy and Wobblers. We will be in labs next week, so it's on the other side of the building. And then we are actually canceling 1 Million Cups for July 5th, so no 1MC July 5th. And I have the Royals tickets winners. So come find me, Neil Steiner, Benton Munyon, Gail Spangler, and Morgan Campanelli. Okay? So we'll see you next week. Thank you.